Now boarding on gate 666 is Air Oligarch, a gift from Qatar. That hasn't quite gone through yet, but we'll wait and see. So, this is another episode of Tarot for Our Times with Sarah as your medium on the go. Now, as you can see in the thumbnail, our focus card for tonight, or today, or whenever it is you see this, is the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. In upright position, it's the family or the organization working together with people of all different ages playing their part. When we have it in reverse, this is the mob family. This is the corrupt organization, the crime family. So, I think that's pretty fitting with what's going on. So, we have the Qatar gift that's going to FOTUS. And, well, he's saying it's actually for the Defense Department, which is going to be his new Air Force One. And then afterwards, it's going to his library foundation, which means it's going to him. Okay. And the DOJ seems to think that's perfectly okay, even though it is against the emoluments clause. So, will Congress be complicit in this? This will be part of our reading, and we have all kinds of interesting stuff. Laura Loomer disagrees with it, although she'll still take a bullet for him. And then we have Pam Bondi, our Attorney General, who used to be a lobbyer for Qatar. So, how did they miss that in the confirmations? This is not going to bode well. I don't think you need to be a psychic to know that this is not going to bode very well in the midterm elections next year. And so what's going to happen? He's just gotten away with everything. Although the justice, the judicial branch is reining him in. And I know if you watch even the YouTube channels, they can get a little bit doomsday, but he's been backing down from a lot of things. So this isn't quite a done deal yet, but it's getting pretty close. So I want to do a reading on, is he actually going to get away with this? I mean, is he actually going to get it? And then what's he going to owe them? There's no such thing as a free lunch or a free airplane. So what is he going to get him? And then what are the ramifications for us? So we have to see what's happening in the first two to see. I'd like to look at it as the likelihood that he's going to be getting this gift that's worth $400 million. That's almost $500 million. And then then there's the added expense that they're going to have. The Secret Service is going to have to go over it with a fine-tooth comb, and it's a mess. But well, don't forget, Qatar is the home of Hamas, a terrorist group. So anything is possible on that. I mean, that could be blow up in his face. Sorry for that little thing, but I mean, it literally could. So it's going to be even more expensive than the $400 million. So I've been shuffling all the cards. So let's see. The first is if he's going to get away with it, and we'll do a reading on that. Okay, so got a new variation on the Rider-Waite deck that's very nice, actually. Okay, so then we have, oh boy, this has been coming up a lot. We have the Five of Swords in reverse as our main card here. And that, upright, that's all about theft and bullying and the people walking away. So it's still the theft and the bullying, but not quite as strong. He has become weaker, but since this is in reverse, there may be a little bit of distancing from him, but a kind of a fear that a kind of a fear of doing that. That God only knows what threats have been made to people. I mean, this is a Ten of Pentacles in reverse. That's what crime families do. So, kind of leading up to this is the Hierophant in reverse, and this is pretty much turning all the institutions up on end, and that kind of goes with the Muskrat and the Doge boys. So, although this is kind of a paradox, because although he feels, he's still in the bullying mode, he's not operating from as much of a position of strength as he used to. So, in the aftermath of this is we have the Queen of Wands. Oh, this I just noticed, she, like the King of Wands, she's got a little salamander there. Yeah, she's pretty, because of the nature of this deck, she's pretty much after some getting ready, she's pretty much taken her position. Now the salamander is all about kind of like rebirth and transformation, and she's holding the sunflower, which is a spiritual thing, and the rod, the element of fire, means that she means business. I would say that again, it's the women. There is some very important woman waiting in the wings and is getting ready to see what happens. But she has to get all of this sort of thing. The black cat is the element of magic in this. So I'm wondering if this could be all about this may not be as easy for him to get. He may get it, but it may not be as easy. So the energy around this is, it is strength. It's strength. In considering this following the Queen of Rods, that there may be a stronger opposition to this. So there may be someone that may be holding this up. This isn't, as the Tabitha Speaks Politics says, Pam. This is not Pam Blondie. I love that. I just heard it. I thought, ooh, another one to rip off from someone. Okay, so this is not Pam Blondie, but this is maybe a composite of all these female judges and prosecutors, mostly black women, who have been, who have been his nemesis, so to speak. And so we have the strength of something there. I don't quite know what this is. So let's see. Underlying all of this, it does seem that he's not quite as strong, but he still has his allies. So in the past, we've had the Four of Swords in reverse. So this is about upright. The guy's kind of taking a rest. When it's in reverse, this is more serious. It's kind of like if you didn't listen to all the signals and take a little break, you really will end up ill. So I would say that this is kind of like another crazy, sick thing that he's going, and they are finding him in them. But that's what the whole thing is that Qatar is finding that since he is kind of weaker and crazy, to be quite honest, that maybe they feel as though, they give him this toy, and they may be able to manipulate him. Okay. King of Cups reversed. This is part of the dementia and whatever it is, what other psychological disorders that he may have. Plus, it may be that whatever their gift for entertainment purposes only, whatever drugs they've been giving him to make him kind of on as much of an even keel as he ever is going to be. There could be like an addiction thing going on. So that's making him more of a loose cannon. And then we have the Hermit in reverse and his very big fear of being alone. It's that whole you gotta love me, but it's on my terms kind of a thing. So this is all the underlying stuff with about this. Okay, so in opposition to this we have the Four of Swords, but it's in reverse. This is telling me that and he should be, he's not worried that he's breaking the law, which may be speaking to more of his decline, basically, because it's so unrealistic. So he's not going to lose any sleep overtaking that plane if he gets it. So in the I guess for him, in his conscious thoughts, we have, oops, that's just a piece of art that came with it. We have the Ten of Swords in reverse. He believes that, nothing is really stuck to him. All the swords that have gone in, and, these represent all of the legal setbacks that he's had, that he's been able to get continuances up the yin yang, and none of them, it's in reverse. These swords aren't sticking, so he consciously believes that the swords won't stick. This is telling me about some arrogance on his part, that maybe he feels there won't be any consequences on the subconscious level. Wow, again, he thinks he doesn't care who gets left out in the cold, as long as it isn't him. So this is like all of the money and all this stuff he's been grifting, because a big fear of his, which is what his niece Mary spoke about, that even though his father, who's worth like a ton of money, when his dementia started setting in, about the same age as Sonny Boy, that he talked about a great fear of losing his money. Where's my money? Where's my money? So I think this is a subconscious thing going on with Donald. And I think what this tells me, that underlying fear is a fear of poverty. But so he's doing all that he can. So right now he's saying, okay, I'm all right now, but I may not be. So this has been a big driving force, because a lot of it has been, I think with him, it's been maybe more about enriching himself and filling the coffers after some lawsuits they went against him last year. So we've got that. So, okay, so in the past, which is the before, take a before. In the past, it's a very interesting fool. He's decided to take some chances with this, but he doesn't see, the dog usually represents the spirit guide, and he's not that close to the cliff like he usually is, but the dog's hiding behind the bush, which is saying he's ready to take the leap of faith, but whatever sense he's had about, oh, now's the time to do it, now the time isn't, is getting hidden from him. And although he wants to make this beginning, he's kind of like not listening to that inner voice, which I think he did, and is Hogarth said, in the reptilian, instinctively in the reptilian kind of a way. So, okay, so we've got this in the past, that this is not really well thought out. I mean, this whole thing is like he's so oblivious to the law and the consequences and everything. So let's see what's going on in the here and the now. Okay, he is he's still seeing himself as the star, and that this is something that he can do because he has gotten away with a lot of it. So this is really where he's at now. And yeah, he does. And he, right at this moment, he is pretty much getting away with it because he thinks he's done a great magical job. But let's see how long that lasts. So going into the not too distant future, we have the King of Wands. So here we have him as the unfaithful, philandering king, which he's gotten away with. I mean, he's still been able to hold on to his wife after all that Stormy Daniels thing and came out last year, but she has her own agenda of staying, and he may be totally oblivious. So we've got the unfaithful but really nasty tempered king. So no one's going to tell him he can't do that. So as I say, reverse kings are aspects of his personality. In fact, he is the emperor. So as we go a little bit more in the future with the after tarot, okay. He may just get that this time. He really may just get that, but I'm also thinking with the girl in the picture, there's maybe something about the Epstein thing that's going to come out. But he's getting, it's not a true victory because the people in the background they're not really into him. They're kind of walking beside him, not looking at him, just because it's, it's to their advantage now. But they're kind of like on their way out. They're going to leave. So he's having a victory just in his own mind, kind of a thing. It's not to say that this thing won't backfire. So in the hopes and the fears, let's see, in the hopes and the fears. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. So Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Again, this is ill-gotten gains. He's glad to get the money, but I found, as I did a research on the beagle, it's kind of related to the salamander, and it's a transformative thing, but it's in reverse. So this may be transforming him into something kind of a bit on the negative side. So, then I'm wondering if this could be exposed. Oh, yeah, it's interesting because the hand is not holding the coin like it does in the regular deck. It's handling the beetle, which is saying that, whatever great force is out there that usually does have the pentacle is talking about. I would say that this is talking about more of his downfall, which is due to money. So I would say, once again, this pretty much goes along with what I'm saying, is that there'll never be like that one, you're busted, you're out of here. But this is just adding up to it. It's all adding up to the sum of the whole, and saying that this cannot go on forever, that in fact in some way he may lose his ill-gotten gains. There's more, a lot of there's some magas are splitting off on this this gift, that a few more peeled off. So let's see, the conclusion of this is another artwork. It's nice, but okay. The Page of Swords. There's some, this came up a lot in the Muskrat's Doge Boys. The spy in the camp, the traitor, that someone's going to be betraying him. This could very well be that there is someone that's going to betray him about maybe quid pro quo that he may be doing in exchange, which really leads up to the next. It leads up to the next part of the reading. So that is the conclusion, and I will see. We'll do a little bit of an after clarifier here. Oh boy, cannot make this stuff up. Okay, this is the Tower. In the regular tarot, you have the two people in midair. You have them here. They've crashed and burned. The crown is gone. The tower is split in half. It kind of goes to my theory that this won't all happen at once. First, the top is coming down. Then it'll probably take a little while for the bottom of it to burn up. But what this tells me is that this whole thing could very well end up in disaster. But as he does all of these things, that in the future there could be laws passed to prevent this from ever happening again. So I would say, as far as yes, I think in a way he will get away with it, but it's going to be a temporary thing. It's it's going to be, for now he probably will, but there could be some things that come out about this, and someone in his own camp, I think, is going to betray him about what god awful thing that he could be doing with Qatar, the home of Hamas. So this is pretty serious, because he could kind of do a favors in secret and make it hard to trace back to him. But a lot of this reading is talking about his delusion and his mental declines, and mix that with arrogance, and people like that get found out. That's always a downfall, is that people get so overconfident because they've gotten away with so much, that this could be the beginning of the end of his getting away with all this sort of thing. So in the other two, I'm going to make them a bit shorter readings, but so what will he owe them? What is he going to owe them? This could be a tricky one. This might be a semi-short one. Okay. So I think I'm going to go over to, oh yes, the Royale, the Tarot Royale, and do a shorter read on this. But I feel compelled to do a little cut. A cut here. Okay, so we have, all this stuff that all the damage he's doing, it may come to a standstill. This is telling me when the courts come down on this, may come to a standstill. And the Knight of Swords here is like, this guy is about ready. He's delivering the message, but he's about ready to go off the cliff. So that's kind of interesting. I kind of enjoy doing that, but I most of the time forget to do that. Okay, so we've got this, and I'm going to shuffle the book before and the after. And so I think we'll do a simple spread on this. But these cards are big for, okay. Oh, come on. And so we're gonna, okay, what will he owe them? I have no idea, but I know it isn't anything good, so. Signifier, the energy, and in the past, in the future. Let's see how these play out. Okay. So, signifying this is the Two of Swords. We don't quite know yet. There will be a decision to be made. But what this tells me is that they know they're going to ask him for a biggie, but they haven't quite made up their mind yet what it's going to be. The one big thing that all of these awful players, the oligarchs, they seem to be ignoring his mental decline and the fact that he's a loose cannon, which may be their big mistake. So they're kind of blind to who knows what they'll do. I don't think that they've made a decision what that's going to be. They're going to remind you owe us. Don't forget you owe us a biggie. They'll make that plain. But this is telling me, oh, they're not quite sure where to begin. I'm sure they have an agenda, but it's like, where do we start? So the energy with this is the Five of Pentacles. And this goes back to that whole thing of he doesn't like to be left out, that he really needs to be enriched. So this is a way of enriching him, because somebody knows he has a fear of losing it, because I believe that came out last year with all the lawsuits and the whole thing with the New York State and Letitia James and all this sort of thing. So let's see, a little bit in the past. So we don't know exactly. This definitely has something. Well, you know what? This has a couple of things. This is, they tried to buy the Pope. They tried to buy the Pope and they couldn't. I think Qatar is looking at this as far as how they're going to make up their mind. But I want to put on a before clarifier here. So we have, the King of Cups. So this is like the cup is being presented to him, but he's got other things on their mind. I think what this is telling me is that they are trying to be like, do they like the whole compassionate number with him? So they're trying to bring that sort of thing in to kind of soften him up. And this is sort of it's complimenting. It's supposed to be complimenting and stroking the ego kind of a thing. So let's see, in the after, Seven of Wands in reverse. What this is telling me is that this is a very warlike thing, that maybe they want to launch, I wonder if they want to launch an attack on Israel, and would he be finding a way to back them up financially or to support this? Boy, that would go to this. That's a really tough. I think that there may be kind of this sort of a thing of launching an attack. Maybe it isn't another nation, or it's some nation that may be in a weakened position, you know. So the world is not too much in love with Israel right now, thanks to Netanyahu. But I think there may be some other kind of weak link in the Middle East, and I think they're going to want to get his support and aid for that. Let's see if I can get a clarifier with the after. Okay, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. The Devil on top. This whole thing is, he really thinks he's hit it big, but actually what this is becoming very Faustian. This plane is like selling his soul to the devil. And I guess there's a reason why I made that, smart ass intro of now boarding at gate 666. I had no idea that was going to come up, but now this kind of makes sense. This is going to be something that really, it's going to be very, very bad for foreign policy. I think it has something to do with because this is very warlike. It's supporting some kind of a conflict in the Middle East, and it's just really, really, really bad. This could be very much of a, which leads us into the next reading. This could be very much of a whole thing of a war that could be. That they want him to support with them, and to, and a lot of it has to do with terrorist groups, and I think and also I heard they were releasing, and still yet another, Hamas was releasing another hostage. That tells me they were pitching a bone to him. Do you know what I mean? They were just throwing out a little giving him a little bit of a taste, like, we'll play ball with you. And I think that's a very significant thing. So I want to see now, what are the ramifications of all of this, and about what's pretty much what's going to happen. So let me see. I might do just a bit of a longer read, because this is kind of tied in with how the last, here we have this is interesting. This popped up in the after tarot. The truth being buried. The truth being buried. And let's see, this guy has he's got the bird. The bird is captured. The bird is captured. The bird is not going to be able to send the message out, and the truth is buried. Very interesting. So that's kind of a little bit of a theme of this. So what are the ramifications of this? Okay, so give these a little bit of a shuffle here. Yeah, what is this going to do for us? I shudder to think. So, okay, so do a middle-sized reading on this. Okay, so our base card is the Knight of Cups in reverse. Whoa, this is this telling me this may be wrapped up in a whatever he is called upon to do is going to be presented in a kind of like a sickeningly romantic thing of patriotism. But if the Department of Defense is involved, they've got our drunken Secretary of Defense with the cup in reverse, who doesn't know what he's doing. So this is not good. This is just not good. So let's see the energy behind this in the before. You want to do this in the before tarot is the Chariot not moving, and since this is a before card, she's just climbing aboard. So it's going to be somebody climbing aboard whatever this agenda is, and it's kind of feeling warlike and toxic, is it isn't going to go anywhere. It's going to be a lot of talk, and it's not going to go anywhere. So in opposition of this, we have the Hierophant, and this will be whatever they want, which is feeling like something to do with some warlike thing in the Middle East, is really going to be going against our basic principles, and it could be something where they're going to employ maybe not the U.S. Army, but maybe kind of mercenaries like that would, like Putin does, that kind of a thing. So that's in opposition of this. So maybe our arm for maybe a combination of the two, because this guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Okay, so in the past, we have, oh, the Hierophant again. Only he's upright. In the past, that may be telling me that they're, even though the Dems are in the minority, this could be talking about some government institutions that are keeping an eye on this sort of thing and expecting the worst. And that could be the we have three here, the three branches of government, even the executive, because I'm getting back to there's maybe someone that he thinks he trusts, but it can't be trusted. So going to the here and the now with this. Yeah, there's going to be a conflict about going against the government, and that's going to be the two battling factions. So it could be another one of those, fasten your seatbelt things. So let's see what we have here. Big lie. It's so transparent right now. I mean, with the DOJ saying there's nothing wrong with it when everybody knows there is something wrong with it. He gets up there and tells lie after lie, implying that it will belong to the government, but if it goes to his library, it doesn't, but he'll say the library belongs to the people, which is a load of BS. So we've got that happening here. And in the immediate future, we have the Hanged Man. It's kind of like, for now, things are just going to stay as they are. And unfortunately for us, this may be telling me that Congress could let him do this. Oh, wait. The Hanged Man. Oh yeah, he's upright. Okay. Oops, sorry, he is upright. That things may not be changing for the present time. As far as like same old, I am sorry to say. But this is only temporary, and it may also be that while things are staying the same, this is also about there may be more Republicans that start to see things in a new light about this. And they're certainly going to hear from their constituents big time. Like, they may try to hold on, but they're going to be forced to look at this in a different way. But he may have this for a while, which is going to make the rest of us kind of angry, like, oh, here he goes. He gets away with it again. So looking in the more distant future, we have, this is funny because in the after tarot, they've already had the wedding. They're already leaving. But this is also, though, in reverse, this is the card of divorce, breaking up of personal and business relationships. This could say that although some may kind of go along with this, that there are those that will not only get divorced, that they're going to be leaving. This is what and I've seen this in a lot of things. I think it's like peeling away at a lot of these things, that it's not only the divorce, it's like getting out of here, because this may be people don't want to be caught up in this whole thing. And also what this is telling me is that with Pam Blondie having been a lobbyist for Qatar, that I think a lot of people are going to back off because maybe they don't want their dirty laundry with lobbyists to be aired. So I do see a point of kind of a drawing away from this, which is good for us because this is going to ripple onto other things. I also believe that people are trying to hold on to their seats, which may be very difficult to do. So let's see, in the more distant future, we have okay, so when this is in reverse, but when this is straight up, it's kind of like he's managed to balance people off, and those people are safe to take their journey now because the budget has been balanced. In reverse, this is not looking very good. What this tells me is that he can't that they're lying again. They're lying about budgets being balanced and we're safe to move on when those people may be getting on a leaky boat and they won't be safe because they cut some corners. That's what this guy here tells me, that there are ramifications. It looks like that really bad stuff that will be happening as kind of as a result. I see the pebble being pitched in the water with the ripples going out, that this is going to touch other things that we hadn't been aware that was going to happen. It's just like with the tariffs. People are finally starting to see how it affects their lives. It's about going out to eat. It's about Canadians and nobody else are going to come here, and that people think it doesn't affect them in their towns. Well, it does. It does. But their ripples may be a little further out than others. So that's what this is telling me. This looks like an awful lot of resentment. So in our hopes and fears with this gift being given, we have follow the money. What this is saying is that with their influx of income, or this riches that they're getting, he's getting, people are going to be very much aware of the fact that they can't get on an airplane and go fly somewhere this summer, what they might have been planning on doing. I think getting on an airplane in the United States is like playing Russian roulette with the lack of air traffic, and their morale is really low. So it'll be the whole thing, like, while the money, the $400 million plane and all of its gaudiness, nouveau riche, trashy stuff, will cause people are going to realize that they're getting it and we aren't. I want to put a clarifier because I believe that this could be stirring the pot of, this is going to be a summer of protests. Let's see, take it after. I believe that people may be taking, that they may be getting, this tells me that people may be going out in the streets, but there will need to be strong leaderships that will be, see, this book, I'm seeing this as the law, where people are going to be more prepared about what's lawful and what isn't to avoid trouble. So this is telling me that already in the mix, the protests are going to be very well organized with a hierarchy and training and all of this stuff. So if anything bad happens, then any, with law enforcement, it will look very bad for the rest of the world. So the hope is that they will be peaceful, but in this, even doing everything, there may be a fear that the police are going to, or ICE or whatever, are going to behave mischievously. I want to do another clarifier. So This is the Nine of Wands in reverse, and usually this is a single figure. When it's upright, it's the wounded warrior. He's just patching himself up to fight another day. So, and there's another figure in here. So I'm going to say that in the two worlds that you're going to have to be careful, because there may be, there may be some wounds that will not be healing. That this goes, since there's another figure, this goes for the one that is benefiting that from that gift, is that they may have, that may cause a wound in the administration that is not going to heal. It may not end it, but the wound will be kind of, it's disgusting, festering through the bandages, and that maybe that they are getting weaker. So in conclusion of this, we have the oligarchies. This is really, really, really clinging to all of this, stubbornly justifying this, but the gravity's kind of pulling those off, that it may be that they'll cling to it, but it's falling apart. They'll cling to it, but they won't be able to hold on to it. So it may be falling apart. So that's pretty much it. So what this is saying is that, again, we're looking at at this whole thing is weakening the regime. It's almost like I look at this like Marie Antoinette's necklace. I've been watching that series on PBS, and it's been I think it's been historically accurate. And there's a big involved story behind the necklace, that she was kind of set up with that in a way, but the optics were awful. So this is you could see that this was the first step in her downfall, along with Louis says. It was the whatever happened, the truth was about that was just one of those many little things that brought them his reign toppling down. This could be, what I see is that this could be his gold necklace, his diamond necklace. It'll be a gold plain that is his diamond necklace, which pretty much tells me that it won't be the cause per se, but it will be a very glaring thing that's adding up to the demise. Plus the fact that, with a lot of these cards in reverse, wands and cups and things like that, a lot of reversals, and the reversal with the swords of the truth, and the ill-gotten gains with the pentacles, and a lot of wands in reverse is telling me also that the real fire that they had in the first regime part 1, that's kind of going out. It isn't as strong. This is like a lot of desperate things, and I believe that people are starting to smell the blood in the water over this. So it's going to be a lot of different things, but it's one of many. It's like the diamonds of Marie Antoinette's necklace. They were sparkly things. You couldn't miss that. This plain, which is gold, you can't miss it. So it's talking about the shiny object that will make people look more closely about the corruptness about their reign a couple hundred years ago, and what we're going through now. We need I think it's the shiny object that's needed to maybe make people aware, well, there's that, and then there's this and this and this and this. So it's going to be a very interesting summer. So with that, I'm going to sign off for now. Bye.